Good morning and welcome back to Market Master. And we are today celebrating the birth of SpaceX and its IPO. Most investors are looking at the IPO price and very few are looking at the share structure. In this video, we examine one of the most overlooked aspects of the SpaceX IPO. Approximately 13 billion shares exist, and only 555 million shares are available for the public. That translates to roughly 4.2% of the company is actually in the public float. What does this mean for the price discovery? Could limited shares create extraordinary demand during the first days of trading? Or will investors discover that scarcity alone does not guarantee higher prices? In this video, we explore the public float versus the total shares outstanding, why that share structure matters, the IPO supply and demand dynamics, historical IPO behavior, what to watch during the opening days, and potential opportunities and risks. Understanding the difference between total shares and tradable shares may be one of the most important factors in evaluating this IPO. The numbers tell a story. The question is whether the market is paying attention. The things to watch: the first trade, and definitely the first 30 minutes, and most definitely the first 24 hours. Does it open higher at 150, 175, or 200? The bigger the gap, the bigger the speculation. The next thing we need to watch is trading volume. Volume tells us how much conviction is behind the move. Higher volumes mean institutions are active, large funds are involved, and real money is flowing. Next, does it hold its opening range? Does it push higher or fall back? This answer reveals buyers are willing to pay or pass. Next, we would watch the close. That's very important. Also, the lockup. A small float plus strong demand can produce large price swings. The opening day will tell us how excited investors are. And next, the 30 and 90 days will tell us the real staying power. Let's go now take a look at how much percentage we've actually returned from our current top. It looks very much like this market has pulled back a good near 8.5 or 8.29%. So with that, are we going to see a rebirth now of a new push up, retesting our high, and an extreme push up in the NASDAQ? This is a very big question, and many are in fact asking the same thing. Are we in fact going to see a resurgence of the bull market? It's very likely impossible with such a great big company coming online and a big name like Elon Musk, who's at the forefront of this IPO. We've stated before, looking at the share structures, the public float is only 4.2% of the shares are really outstanding for public. I mean, that's a very low amount for an IPO, and this is something that creates scarcity and people flocking in to buy, and then of course, the rollover, as the excitement grows for the very small amount of shares that are available, people or investors will be looking to unload and capture some quick profits. So why does that structure matter? Well, this creating scarcity just creates euphoria that traders are just unable to get away from. And with that, there's quick pain as well as there's quick, profits. So with that, we need to be careful about this. What have we seen in the past? In our past video on SpaceX, we discussed about historical IPO behavior, and I think I gave you about 6 different scenarios where we saw, Facebook came out and fell 50% pretty much immediately. Uber did the same thing. It fell down and struggled and spent years to get back up and never met the expectations. Robinhood, another big one, and this one collapsed and continued down and had enormous hype behind its IPO. Rivian, right? This one, it lost most of its value after an explosive debut. So there again, we have to watch out for this. And last but not least is Coinbase. It entered the crypto cycle peak and then it fell dramatically. So are we about to see a reignition of past performance? Well, not necessarily. However, the warning signs are there that a lot of volatility is built into this extraordinary IPO. So from there, will we be seeing a breakthrough and a retest of our top? In my opinion of this move here, I believe that we're about to see another push up and a move through this top right here at our current 30,000 level. And probably we will see a sit down on this in the next few days. If not, then it will continue to move up. And what would that look like? Well, getting this chart a little smaller here and bringing it down, we have an overhead extension line from our top in the 2000.com bubble. So does that mean we will come up and tag this 50,000, 49,000 level? Well, not necessarily. However, there's a lot of hype behind this, and when we talk about one of the richest men in the world who's created several businesses that are successful, PayPal, Tesla, his XAI chatbot. Here we are with SpaceX, reusable rockets. No one's done that. And he has his robotics and automated techs, which is that's emerging as well. Plus, he has his Starlink internet, and this is a guy that has garnished 6 very successful businesses and has multiple government and defense contracts. So this individual has done more than most people can do with one business. Like, for instance, we have Amazon, and that's a big company, and you put your life into one vertical, like a company like that. And now he has a spin-off where he has his, I think it's Blue Origin or whatnot. He's got a space company and trying to compete with Elon as well. But Elon has stretched himself out and he has somehow grown and absorbed the market with his tremendous ability to build companies from literally nothing, sleeping on couches and eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. He's suffered a few divorces and has fathered a bunch of kids, and he is still standing tall. He's a man that's been in the Oval Office advising one of the most important political figures in history. So Elon's done quite a lot of stuff, and I have to give him this credit because most people can only maybe create one successful business and they pour their life and soul into it and it consumes them completely. But not Elon. Not Elon. He's created PayPal, Tesla, XAI. He's got his robotics. He's got his Starlink. And now he's got all these defense contracts. I mean, we're talking about a man who has taken the initiative to push further than most human beings can do in business. I mean, look at Peter Thiel. I mean, he's created his Planetaire, and he's tried to create some other businesses that haven't really worked out as well. And not picking on Peter Thiel, he's a smart guy. Don't get me wrong. And of course, he's had a few failures, but we're all the same. We've had a few failures. Elon's had a couple of failures in some businesses he's tried to run. I mean, we're not all perfect, but we do try to strive to do our best. And by far, Elon has outpaced anyone and everyone in the marketplace. And as far as I'm concerned, he's done such an amazing job. I mean, just having a robotics division. I mean, that would consume pretty much the entirety of a CEO or the founder. I mean, or just creating reusable rockets. I mean, what's NASA been doing for the last 60 and 70 odd years, right? Blowing up rockets and killing astronauts, and here we have Elon. He comes along, reads a book, and builds reusable rockets that land perfectly back down on their base. I mean, it's incredible. And Tesla, I mean, he's come up. What has Ford, Chevy, and GM been doing? And then along comes Elon and creates an electric car company, and he's just upsetting the industries. Every industry he goes into, he creates this vacuum where he's just sucking up all the business. He's making his footprint noticed, and people are paying attention. So will this be any different with this SpaceX IPO? I mean, he's raising a heck of a lot of money here, guys. I mean, we're not talking about some chump change here. This is, you know, his implied valuation is 1.7 trillion in this. I mean, that's incredible. All these businesses put together, this is incredible wealth. And just the IPO here has created 75 billion. It's amazing. My hat's off to him. I have a lot of respect for someone who has weathered the types of things that he's done and the things that he's doing. And I just can't imagine the brain capacity and just the drive to succeed and keep pushing through and doing these things. Anyways, I wanted to just point out that I feel there's a lot of hype behind this, and that I'm just asking you all to be speculatively careful. I know there's a lot of people that have said to me that they're just going to buy and hold this thing because it's going to moonshot. And, I can't argue against that. I mean, everything that Elon has done, he has created tremendous value. And there's no question of that. We can see that in all his business models. However, with with that does come risks, you know, risks of institutions that buy in on this IPO, watch it move up, and then release their holdings and drop the bag. And that could be painful for the small guy as the shares drop below the IPO price, say of 135, and maybe it drops down to $13. That would be a tremendous buy. I'm sure that every institution would be gobbling up every single stock that would have a dramatic drop, and I'm sure that would take place for sure. Not saying that we will hit $13, guys. Just I'm throwing that scenario out, and I was going to look at doing an update with the Natural Square Scientific Forecasting Instrument and put the IPO price of the birth of SpaceX on there, and then giving you a little look at what we could see for share pricing and where the share price is conjunct or opposite other factors or making a right angle to the price, as well as looking at the points on the square where we think that time will make a precedent and a change from this point here. So I'm just going to do quickly. I didn't put the camera on the square, but right now I'm just going to turn my square of 9 here, my natural square scientific forecasting instrument, to the birth date here, and 45 days out, or the first 45-degree angle, will point to the very late period of about July 28th, and we can see that a first 45-degree angle will be very prominent as well in a timing. And what do we have going on in late July? Well, late July, Mars will be at a 45-degree angle with Jupiter. And also, very importantly, the Sun will be completely conjunct Jupiter. So I expect that after the 45 days here, we are going to experience a change in trend. What's next after that first 45 days? Well, next would be the right angle, or 90 degrees. And that would bring us right into about September 13th, where we would see a 90-degree move with the Sun. And I'm expecting, again, sometime in September here, we're going to be having a whole bunch of, well, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the market. We have the midterms coming up here, and we have the cycle for Bitcoin starting to get into its 12, 13, and 14-month lows. So we have a lot of turbulence in the market here. Plus, we have the Clarity Act, which is, well, it's going to be brought again to the floor, and the Senate is going to be discussing the wording of that document and whether or not it's ready to pass and meets the approval. So there's a lot of headwinds ahead for the market, and sure, we could see, let's just say we extended this line out here, and we take in the market, and let's just say we extend this out and see where this would touch. It looks an awful lot like this. This would touch here. Oh gosh, right up here. Yeah, and this is into October. And like I said, from that mid-September here, we could see essentially a really big change in trend. And by the way, this October in that time period represents 110 to 120 degrees, and that's a triangle angle, and typically an area where William Gann states that it's a good time to buy or a good time to sell. And I'm thinking at the end of the year here, it's going to be a very good area in which we should look at reaccumulating stocks, Bitcoin, and other crypto assets that are showing a distribution phase and ready for a new bull market. Anyways, guys, that's what I got for you today. Peace and love to you, brothers and sisters out there, and just be safe with your trading, and we'll get back to you soon. Peace and love.